my earthy, lovely people. How are y'all doing in this wonderful January 2017? So, let's get right to it, okay, you guys? First, I'll do the general section of it, okay? So, we got the Strength card, the Prince of Pentacles inverted. You've got Use Your Wisdom and Mermaid Magic Seduction, okay? Y'all might have to shimmy your way through some things. Y'all might have to be a little, I don't want to say a little slippery, but you are going to have to finesse your way through some stuff this month, okay? I feel like maybe kind of in and out throughout the year, okay? Some sticky situations. I think you definitely strong enough to handle what's being thrown at you. I feel like it has a little bit more to do with your job or wages. I keep hearing wages. In particular, I keep seeing Capricorn and Virgo for this one. You guys may be doing a lot of negotiation. Like your negotiation skills may be tested a lot this year. For raises, for jobs, for access to capital, resources of any sort. But I just see a lot of networking, a lot of finessing, your words. Be particularly cautious or I want to say, well, cunning in a way with your words. I don't know if you're familiar with Game of Thrones or House of Cards, but it just seems very political. Everything boils down to some level of jargon and finesse and planting the right smile, and it's a game of chess. And I think that goes back to use your wisdom. Know when it's time for you to be able to go into those circles and, use a little bit of your political savvy, if you will, within your profession or within that arena. And the mermaid magic, is very much about being able to win people over. I think you could do it. Hands down, no question. Earth signs are incredibly charming. Not in the same way that other signs are, but you all are very charming, and your grounded nature in and of itself is very seductive because, you give the air of, I've got it all under control. So utilize that to your advantage this year, okay? Especially this month. I know it's getting close to the end of February, or the end of January rather, but this reading is for February of 2017. So for the rest of this month going into next month, there you go. So Capricorn, let's look at your February 2017. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups inverted. You've also got the Seven of Cups inverted, the Eight of Cups, and the Two of Cups inverted. I don't feel like your heart is in much of anything in February. I know it's Valentine's Day, during that time and everything. There just seems to be a lot of disappointment. And some of it is definitely founded. I feel like for you, this has to do more with career. And the people around you within said career. Okay, it's professional. I don't know why. I know it's a cups situation for you guys, and usually for a lot of people that's love. But I feel like your emotional state or your emotional well-being as it pertains to what you are doing for, like, in terms of what you do for your livelihood, like making a living, I truly believe that you guys are just not in it. You're not happy anymore. You can't put on the front. You can't fake the funk. You're just like, I'm through. I'm over it. And I don't feel that you think that you have a lot of support. But you do. Oh, yeah. You keep thinking that you don't have the support, but you do. You've got people out there that are with you. You have true allies. Yeah, you're creating the fortress around yourself. There are people who see that your heart is truly not into it. But you are very proud and, you want to have your dignity about you and, continue to present a polished look, which is great. Always professional, and that's a beautiful thing about you guys. But please do realize that people want to come in and help. They just don't know how to. Honestly, I feel like some of these people are afraid to come and step to you and say, look, you're not happy because they're afraid of the wrath of, I'm fine, get away from me. Be open and receptive to help coming in February, because I feel like help is on the way. You just have to be able to utilize your resources and finesse your way through it, okay? And that might even mean finessing your own ego and putting it aside for a little bit, okay? We're not always in control, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we need to let somebody else steer for a minute. So, Capricorns, I want you guys to really focus on where is your heart. Is it in what you're doing? Is it not happy with the way that you are executing these things? Then change the rubric, change the game plan. There's nothing wrong with changing, okay? And there's nothing wrong with you letting go in order to let things fall apart. Sometimes when we let things fall apart, it's in the rubble that we find the true gem, okay? And I think that the gem that you're truly searching for is you. Somewhere along the way, you forgot who you are. There's been a separation of church and state within your mind and your spirit. Like, who am I really? Your soul is trying to remind you this is not who you are. Come back full circle. Okay? Also, ask yourself, does your true self scare you? Are you truly afraid of your true power? Power is seductive. Capricorns are very good at being powerful entities. You know, every sign has its power, but Capricorns are very good at being the pillars of society and community when they are well resolved. Okay? So, being powerful can be scary sometimes because you realize the weight and responsibility that comes with that. So, ask yourself, am I afraid of that? And then, why am I afraid of that? And then tap into that and explore it. Okay? But do not be afraid to let things fall apart. You won't fall apart. You at your core is going to be there. Okay? What's going to fall apart is the facade that you've been carrying around that has turned into this load that makes you miserable. That's going to fall off. And then we're going to see the beautiful you awaiting in the midst of all that rubble falling apart. Okay? Looking forward to it, especially since I'm married to one. Let's get this ball rolling. Virgo! How y'all feeling? So, we've got 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Rods, Temperance inverted, and the Fool. Virgo, this is not a good time for you to make too many financial investments. One, because I don't care what your political affiliations are right now in the United States, or at this point even globally, things are a little too volatile. Okay? I honestly think you might be thinking about whether or not you need to rescind some of your transactions. Like, do I need to pull money out of the market? Do I need to, reinvest here as opposed to there? I also feel that this is not a good time for you to start telling everybody about your business moves. I think you're going to have to finesse things underground a little bit more. I really think that you're going to go underground. And I don't see you being willing to take on too many other things in February. I think February is a time for you to have a bit more cultivation as opposed to activation of new things. Let's see. Yeah. Don't tell too many people about what you're trying to do. Well, I pulled it, so. Oh, yeah. You moving away from a bunch of people. Yeah. There's financial moves being made here. I know this card typically represents you moving away from someone. I feel like this is something, an institution, a way of thinking about your money is changing. Yeah, you're gonna be willing to hear out and listen to other people. And I keep hearing best people for the job. Best people for the job. Look for the best people for the job. Yep. Trust. Ask yourself if you trust yourself with your resources right now. Are you spending too much? Are you giving too little? Are you being a little too stingy with yourself or with others? But when it comes to your resources, do you trust? Do you trust yourself with them? And if not, again, going back to the best people for the job. Use your wisdom. Use your wisdom to know when you need to let go and when you need to, receive a bit more. Okay? Also, Virgos, this could be a month, time for you where you're going to be getting a little bit more sick, and I keep feeling throat issues. So you may not be able to really talk to people about what you're doing. That may be part of why you go underground. I keep hearing throat issues, throat and sinus. Okay? And I feel like it's linked to your digestive tract. So if you've been eating more bread, more wheat, anything that's more inflammatory, cheese, sugars, like processed foods, give those a rest. from here on out if you can. And Virgo is usually linked to the intestine, so y'all typically have a hard time with, digestive issues anyway. So watch your diet. Green leafy, lots of water, minimize starches unless they're, like carrots and certain healthy starches like that. Okay? I really want you guys to focus on being attuned with your business moves, like your money moves, like the movement of your money and your resources. And if you don't feel like you can do a good job of keeping track with them, find someone who can. Okay? Because you will save yourself in the long run. Keep track of your things, of your assets. If you're not a person who's worried too much about your money or your assets, think about your emotional currency. Who are you giving that to? Who's taxing that? Everything right now is being taxed. So what's being taxed? Is it your money or your finances? Or your finances or your emotions? Okay? But I see you guys, it's beautiful. You guys are more willing to let go than the Capricorns are. You guys are like, okay, look, I can't deal with all this. I need to find somebody who can handle this because whatever I've been doing isn't working. Capricorns are being a little bit more stubborn, but I think y'all gonna come around. Love you guys. All right. So Virgo, hope that was helpful. All right. Capricorns, I made a video for you guys prior to this, so it'll tell you what gemstones and herbs and whatever you guys should be using. Virgos, I really want you guys to focus on aquamarine. Okay? Corresponds to the throat chakra. Okay? But also aquamarine is going to help with communication within yourself and also helping with your intuition. Okay? And herb-wise, if you can stomach it, I keep hearing barley. Barley is an herb that we use in Chinese medicine in order to help do what we call draining dampness. So if you're a person who's subject to like bloat or who creates a lot of phlegm, barley will actually help to alleviate some of that. Okay, you can make instead of using oatmeal, you can make a porridge out of it, or you can make a soup out of it. Personally, I like mushroom and barley soup. It's one of my favorites. But it helps with that too. Okay? Taurus. What's happening? Alright, you guys got the Prince of Cups inverted, the High Priestess inverted, the World inverted, and the Three of Rods. Y'all got some decisions to make. You've got two major arcana here that are inverted, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You all have got to decide if you're going to let yourself drive the ship or you're going to let somebody else do it. Who's going to let be in control here? I almost feel like you all have been kind of asleep. I keep feeling this sleepy fog where you feel like you've been in this fog, in this wonderland, and, things are not as you would typically have them. But it's because you've been letting somebody drive the ship for a while, which is not a bad thing. But I feel like things are coming to a head in February where you are kind of like, okay, it was great while it lasted, but now I want my voice heard. And the other person involved or the other people involved have gotten so accustomed to being at the wheel or at the helm, they're like, oh, well, we've been doing it like this for this long, so we're going to keep doing it like this. And you feel like your voice isn't heard. So now I kind of feel like you want your power back. Not a bad thing. Finesse your way through it. Out of all the earth signs, I think Taurans are the least diplomatic in their tone at times. And it's not a bad thing, but y'all are just to the point. And I love that about you. So it just is what it is. And at times, Tauran women can have a diva complex. So, y'all come in on the scene and y'all are just like, oh, excuse me, but it's me. And I need you to recognize that it's me. So you need to step aside because, well, it's me. And I think that is absolutely incredible. But ask yourself, is it fair to do it that way? Because when you gave the power over, I keep feeling like you gave it over because of the same reasons. Like, well, it's me, and I told you to take over, so take over. Okay? Yeah. Transform worrisome thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta decide if you want to take your power back. And if you're gonna take your power back, do it diplomatically, but firmly. Okay. I keep seeing women in a woman in a household who, you know, may have needed her husband to take over a few things in terms of like, you know, discipline with the kids or something like that because she had to work longer hours. And now it's like, okay, well, my overtime shift's over. Time to go back to the way, you know, the system that we had. And, you know, her husband is just like, well, you're trying to undermine me. And da 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 da. You know, and the wife is just like, no, it's, you know, that was just temporary, you know. So there needs to be a meeting of the minds of how you're going to go back or how you're going to infuse or incorporate, you know, the old way of doing things and the new way of things. Okay? Kind of like a treaty. I keep hearing treaty. Things will come together. And I'm only giggling, not because I think that it's a funny situation, but I keep thinking that, I keep seeing where you're going to have to concede in some ways that make you a little bit, you know, annoyed. And the reaction that I'm seeing is one that's very, I don't want to say flamboyant, but it's very, all right, fine. Fine, I guess so. Like, hurry up and just get this over with, okay? It's going to be okay. It really is. I think it's something that you have to just grow accustomed to. You're used to your word being the law in many regards, especially when it comes to the inner workings of the home. And I keep feeling like it has more to do with the inner workings of the home. If it's budget, I feel less budget. I feel like it's just more the environment, the ambiance of the home. It could be something as simple as decorating. You know, like, okay, I told you can put this in your man cave, but that chair stinks and you need to get it out of this basement, like, right now. You know, like, something as simple as that, okay? Find strength and courage within yourself to know that you can maneuver the situation. Because it's about long-term resources. And whether or not you have the ability to utilize your things long-term. And I truly believe that you guys are going to be able to do it with ease. Probably easier than the other two earth signs. Probably within like the first week or two. Just because y'all don't like dealing with drama. So y'all can bring the drama, but you don't like dealing with drama. So Taurus, I feel like iron pyrite would be a good stone for you. Iron pyrite is going to be a very grounding stone. And to keep you invested in what's really going on as opposed to what you're creating in your mind to be going on, what you're perceiving to be going on. Okay. Carnelian too, because it's a sacral chakra. Can't speak. Sacral chakra stone. There we go. Say that 3 times, really, really fast. It's gonna help with your creativity, so it'll help you finesse the situation very creatively. Utilize your sweet talk a bit more. Okay? It'll also help you in terms of creating the environment that you want once the dust settles and all is said and done. Okay? So it helps with the creativity of it all. Okay? And in a very weird way, carnelian has a way of keeping things light. And I think it's because of the sensuality of the stone, right? The sacral chakra is all about sexuality and sensuality and creativity, right? So if you're able to be sensual about a situation, you can be a little bit more playful about it, you know, like, come on, baby, you know, we ain't got to fight about this, you know, we can talk it over, you know, love each other up, have some fun, you know, see where things take us. You know, you can lighten it like that instead of it having to be like this, you know, UN negotiation. Alright? So, in terms of oils or incenses, rose water. Don't know why, but I feel like rose water is the best thing for you all in February. It's clarifying. It's, you know, very auspicious. Take a bath in it. You can even watch, you know, if it's issues over the home, do a floor wash with it. Okay? And yeah, rose water, rose petals. What I keep seeing for you. Rose hip tea, but rose. If you're not a big rose fan, you can do gardenia. If you're not, any white flower will work, but I keep hearing gardenia, but rose would be better. Okay? I hope that's helpful to you guys, and hopefully you'll leave me some constructive feedback. I love reading your comments. I like to know when I've helped, but I also like to know when, you know, there's something I can improve on. So take care. Love and kisses to my love bugs, and keep your gazes forward. Take care.